Hey friends, I'm Jonathan Smith, and this is Jump In with Jonathan, the podcast that makes you think, smile, and take action. Are you ready to jump in this show with me? Let's go. Welcome back to the podcast, friends. Today we're going to be talking about a subject that's everywhere around us, yet often ignored. I want to call this episode The Addiction to Technology. The title is blunt for a purpose because I believe that we are losing ourselves to our screens around us. Now, I want you to picture yourself at a restaurant. I want you to look around at all of the tables. Kids are watching iPads, parents are texting other people, friends are checking notifications in between conversation. Sometimes nobody is actually there. They're physically there around a table, but mentally they're somewhere else. That image is what inspired me for today's episode because if we do not learn to pause and reflect, we might just sleepwalk into a future where our devices shape our humanity more than we do. We already are hearing things about AI or artificial intelligence, and we're wondering how AI is so smart and how AI can do this and how AI can do that. It is because you and I have got so wrapped up into our technology that we are training technology to do things for us. So, number one today, I want to look at why this matters. Let me throw out a few stats at you that I learned that surprised me, and it'll probably surprise you. The average person spends 4.5 hours a day on their phone. That's nearly 70 days a year just staring at their phone. By the time a teenager turns 18, they'll have spent an equivalent of 4 years of their entire life online. Researchers say even a 2 minute distraction from your phone can lower your ability to focus for nearly an half an hour. This is why experts, when I read these reports, compare smartphones to the new cigarette, something everyone uses, everyone knows is harmful in excess, but is so socially normal that we just shrug it off. So, the question that I have for you guys today that are listening, are we on our screens too much? We already know the answer. The real answer is yes. What is it costing us? When I think about what it is costing us, I went back and looked at some statistics in neuroscience. Sorry about that. Our brains are wired to seek a reward. And when we get a text, a like, a share, or even a little notification dot, our brain releases dopamine. It is the same neurotransmitter linked with gambling, alcohol, and yes, even drug addiction. That's why apps are built like casinos. The infinite scroll is like a slot machine. You pull down, maybe you'll get a win, maybe not, but your brain craves the attention of someone else online. Notifications are designed in bright red because that color triggers urgencies in our subconsciousness. This is why it annoys me to no end to pick up my wife's cell phone and in bright red on her email is like 45,652. If you open up my email on my phone, I have zero unread emails. She can look at that notification. It doesn't bother her. I look at that notification. It drives me nuts knowing that she has a bunch of unread emails. The red goes to my brain as something urgent. When we also look at autoplay doesn't ask permission, it assumes you will stay. And 95% of us do. Think about TikTok, think about YouTube. Think about Instagram Reels, think about Facebook Reels. They will autoplay over and over and over. And if we find it funny, we'll watch it. If we find it sad, we'll watch it. If it makes us mad, we'll watch it. It doesn't matter. We'll just scroll through and they'll automatically play and we'll just keep scrolling and we'll keep watching, keep scrolling and keep watching, keep scrolling and keep watching. And what we meant to take 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes of time doing, we look down at our phones and it has been over 6 or 7 hours. Well, 6 or 7 hours that we've just sat and scrolled through all of these videos for what? Absolutely nothing. None of them were educational. None of them helped us become better people. None of them gave us more quality time with our family. None of them gave us more time with our spouse. None of them gave us more time with our children. What it did is it sucked us into a vacuum and it sucked all of our time. It sucked all of our interest. It sucked all of our brain cells. It sucked all of our energy right down the drain. And then we're sitting here wondering why we feel empty, why we feel hopeless, why we feel alone, why we are depressed, why we are angry, why we are sad. We feel all of these different emotions by sitting here watching all of these videos. And what it is you have become addicted to your technology. You have become addicted to social media. I remember a few months ago they said they were going to ban TikTok, and a lot of people got upset over it. And a lot of people's like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't have TikTok to go through and scroll on videos. Maybe they should at least set a time limit on it that we can spend on it every day. Because there are hours upon hours upon hours upon hours wasted watching videos that doesn't or shouldn't affect us. So if you ever wondered why it feels so hard just to put the phone down, it's because your brain is literally being trained not to. At a certain point every night, I lay down my phone and I refuse to pick it up until the next morning. Now, my wife, on the other hand, checks her phone, it seems like a million times a night. So we have to be careful that we do not allow technology to get in the way of our sleep, that we do not allow technology to get in the way of our homes and in the middle of our lives. So what will it cost me if I allow this addiction to take place? Well, relationships, it can cost you there. A survey found that 70% of couples admits technology interferes with their face-to-face conversation. The term phubbing, or what we would also call phone snubbing, is when someone ignores you to check their phone. Why would you do that? If you're having a conversation with someone face to face and you're sitting there scrolling through Facebook or Instagram or whatever, and you're snubbing the person who wants to have a legit conversation with you. It will also affect your mental health. Psychologists are seeing spikes in anxiety, depression, loneliness tied directly to social media use. Teen suicide rates are at an all time high since 2010. Do you know why? Because bullying has become so much easier through social media. The same time that smartphones became mainstream, productivity is down across the board. How many times have you said just 5 minutes on Instagram, just 5 minutes on Facebook, just 5 minutes on TikTok, and you have lost an hour? That's not a lack of willpower, my friend. That's designed. Companies literally hire experts to keep you hooked, to keep you entertained, to keep your attention is their currency. You may lose your identity. The hidden cost when you're always curating, comparing, and scrolling, your sense of self gets tied to a screen. We stop asking, who am I? And start asking, how do I look online? Well, don't ask how you look online. Get in the mirror and ask yourself, how do I look in the mirror? Because who you are when no one else is around, who you are offline is who you truly are. I've seen a lot of people that was really nice online, and I've met them, and they have been absolute jerks. You know what? We talk about people being catfished. There are a lot of social media catfishers out there who will portray to be nice online and will be total jerks to other people in real life. Tonight, if you are nice online, you should be nice in real life. If you are a jerk in life, then you need to find something else better to do. Moving on. When I look at what it'll cost us, it costs us ourselves. Let me give you a personal story here. I'll be transparent. I like being transparent with you guys. You guys make it easy to be transparent. I caught myself recently. I sat down to watch a movie with my family. And if you know me at all, I'd rather watch a TV show than a movie because my attention span is short. 20 minutes in, I realized I hadn't looked at my screen once. Why? Because I was just checking one thing on my phone. I had not looked at the screen of the movie one time because I was going to check one thing on my phone. All of a sudden, it hit me. I'm missing real memories with real people to keep up with strangers, algorithms, and notification. That moment was a wake up call for me. And maybe you've had a similar moment too. Don't ignore those wake up calls, but take them very serious and say, I'm not going to let this happen again. Here's the important part. We need to find a balance. We can go extreme on both ways. I know people who delete Facebook at least once a month and then they're back on it the next month. And I get tired of seeing that crap. So let's talk about finding a real balance. Throwing your phone away isn't an option. Don't be one of these people. Oh, I want a flip phone. Well, guess what? You're not going to find one unless you go down to Goodwill. They probably have one for $1. Um, Tech isn't the enemy. People say, I hate technology. Well, the reason you hate it is because you probably haven't learned how to use it properly. But technology is a tool. And like any tool, misuse can bring harm. So here are some practical ways to take control of your technology addiction. Screen free zones. Make your bedroom or dinner table no phone zones. Protect those spaces for rest and connection. A digital curfew. This is my favorite one. Set a time at night where the phone goes down. Your brain will thank you with better sleep. About an hour before I go to sleep every night, my phone goes into do not disturb. And I set it down and I do not check it until I get up the next morning. This morning I got a missed call on my phone at 6:30 a.m. And I called the lady back around 7:30 a.m. and the lady said, "Oh, I am so sorry. I did not mean to call you at 6:30 this morning. It was a pocket dial. I hope I didn't wake you. I hope I didn't interrupt something." And I said, "No, ma'am. My phone stays on do not disturb until 7 a.m. So your phone call didn't come through. It sent you straight to voicemail for a reason." Why do you do that? Because there's got to be a time that you have to step away from technology. Mindful use. Next time you open an app on your phone, ask yourself, why am I on this app? What am I looking for? One of the things that get me is that I will go on Facebook Marketplace and I'll just click on the Marketplace and I'll just scroll through Marketplace. The next thing I know, it's been 30 minutes. And I'm like, what am I doing on here? I don't need none of this junk. I understand one man's junk is another man's treasure, but I don't need another man's junk so it becomes my junk because it'll never become my treasure. What am I looking for? You'll be often surprised how many times you won't even have an answer for these questions. Replace it. Don't just remove it. Instead of doom scrolling, pick up a hobby. Take a walk. Sit down, talk to your kids, talk to your spouse. One of the greatest highlights of my summer has been coaching softball. Every Monday night, Tuesday night, Thursday night, I step onto the field for an hour to 2 hours, totally phone free. My phone can ring. You can send me text messages. You can leave me voicemails, and it does not affect me because at that moment I'm focused on the team. Fill the gap with something life-giving. You say, is softball life-giving for you? Absolutely it is. Watching kids come on the field who doesn't know anything about the sport and watching them grow, watching them learn, watching them interact with each other, watching them communicate with each other, watching them say things back and forth is very satisfying in life. And it would be amazing to you if you just set your phone down, went outside, sat on your back porch, sat on your front porch, leave your phone inside, and just look at nature. Watch things, learn. Remember this, it's not about quitting screens. I've never said once to quit using your phone. What I have said is that it's about reclaiming control. We need to learn to control things in our life. We need to learn to be able to say no. We need to learn to be able to say enough is enough. So are we losing ourselves as I close out? Are we losing ourselves to screens? I don't think that we're totally gone yet, but I think we're closer than we realize. Technology should serve us, not steal us. If we're intentional, we can keep what's good, which is connection, creativity, convenience, while cutting out what is toxic. At the end of the day, life is too short to spend it scrolling. Let's look up, look around, and live. Hey, thank you for listening to the podcast today. If this conversation has challenged you, try this. Put your phone down for just 1 hour today and notice how it feels. And if you got value out of this episode today, share it with a friend who might need a reminder not to let technology run their life. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss future conversations. Until next time, be intentional, stay balanced, and don't forget, life happens off of the screen. Until we meet again. Thank you for listening to today's episode on Jump In with Jonathan. And keep in mind that life is better when you jump in. Have a blessed day.